Right, this is the GS1000S all done. It's absolutely as good as I can get it. I've found every single original part. I don't think it wants for anything at the moment. I've got a whole new original console, which I changed out all the clocks, so it's kept my original rev counter and speedo, kept the original mileage. I've found the original mirrors. I've even got these plug caps that we all used to throw away because we thought they arced out on the cylinders. It remains to be seen if they do or not, but 4 of them. These, no stickers, these are the original aluminium cover. They are so hard to get. The right hand one, this one was difficult. The right hand one, the DO double overhead cam one, I'd like to thank, I'm not going to name him, but absolutely can't thank him enough, donated me one from his collection, so unbelievably generous. I'll show it on here. It was the last bit that I needed. It would have spoiled it not to have it. I wouldn't have put a sticker on it. I've got original exhaust on it. I've had the whole bike painted, measured an original tank, gave the painter all of the dimensions, and it's come out pretty good. There's no, all this is paint, there's no, obviously they use decals, and there's, if you look at an original one, they've got stripes that they used to stick on, which you can feel when you rub your finger in front. This is all paint. The Suzuki, the stripes, the Suzuki bit, the stripes on here, the Suzuki writing, it's all paint. The stripes on the Fairen, so it's way better than a standard factory bike. A couple of the mistakes that I made. One was I didn't check that the frame was straight. I stripped it all out and then sent it off. I mean, luckily I was having such a job fitting the exhaust, I was starting to think the frame was bent and making them shoot off to different angles. But run a string line through it and the frame is straight. But what I would say is, if you ever strip anything out and send the frame away, check it first. You don't need to have it painted and then find out that it's bent. The mistake I did make with the handlebars, I sent the handlebars off to be re-chromed. It's about the only good thing about this bike. Your chrome and bill is low because that's got really expensive. And the handlebars came back as I'd sent them off. They were bent. I didn't even notice them. I put them back on the bike, and a friend come round and said, "You know, realise your handlebars are bent." And luckily, we just stuck a pipe on here and tweaked this one down a bit, and they're now absolutely perfect, and it didn't damage the chrome. So advice I'd give you if you're restoring anything, never say do it when you can. Just give them a date, tell them when you want it. If you say fit it in when you can, you basically will not get it. You need to be assertive, tell them that you want it for such a date, and hassle them. The other thing I'd be is, if it's not in your nature, then it's difficult to do, but be fussy if you want it right. When I drop anything off, I'm sure I'm a bloody nightmare. I'm sure they think, God, I don't even want this job. I just give them lots of information, paint, colour codes, measurements, printed off pieces of paper. Well, they might think, oh God, I don't care, I'll just paint it how I want to. But I think subconsciously they think, oh Christ, this bloke's so fussy, if it's not right, he's going to be a nightmare. And I probably would be, to be fair. And you do get a bloody good job. Don't be afraid to just say what you want, show that you know what you're after, and you will get the finished result. Managed to get this trim. I'll show you close up. Managed to get this trim. This trim, God, really hard to get. I've stuck it on with PVA because it never seemed to hang on, let's find it. Never seemed to want to stay on there nicely, but it's PVA'd on there now, and it fits really nice. And the other thing is this piece of rubber. I paid £100 for this piece of rubber. I mean, how ridiculous. But I tried other bits to see how that fits so nice there. I tried other bits trying to find this profile. Look, if you can't find one of these, which you probably can't, that's the profile. It's like an F-shaped profile, but it's an absolute, it's hard to find, and finding one of these original ones is going to be impossible. There's my clock. My clock's working. I've switched the Fahrenheit from centigrade oil temperature gauge in there. So all these are original, new old stock, and that was an original new old stock, but I switched it from Fahrenheit. I've kept my original speedo, but the faces have been changed because they didn't match the new old stock top row. So now I've got, this was a 9,000 rev speedo, so I've kept my original 8,500 rev speedo. Everything's working. Have a close up of the paint. I mean, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they get this sort of stencil work that they do, but you can't knock it. Like I say, it's not original, but bloody hell, it's good. These are the, don't know about these gaskets. This gasket is an original Suzuki gasket. I don't know whether they trimmed them off, whether they were trimmed off from the factory when they supplied the bikes, or whether you had to just have these there all the time. I really don't know. I think if I was an owner in 78 and 79 and received the bike, I'd have probably trimmed it off, but whether it's right or not, I don't know. There's the original Suzuki cover, not a decal. It's aluminium. Managed to get all these correct decals for GS1000S. You can see that the paint is way better than standard. Original shocks done. This is all paint. This cover, this pretty much, you know, for me it was the holy grail part. Just unbelievably difficult to find. I mean, probably harder to find than mirrors. I don't know why, but it just I couldn't come across one. Finally got me standard exhaust to line up. They really were difficult. I don't know why they were so hard, whether they're just poorly made from the factory, but they kind of wanted to shoot off at all angles. But I finally just sort of gave up with them and done them up. I fully expected them to leak, and well, they didn't, so it was fair play. The carbs I had done by Vaporworks, I think it was. Credit to them that when I started up, it ran perfectly. The only thing I had to do was adjust the tick over, but yeah, no complaints there. Really nice job. The top end was done by Grumpy 1260. Very enjoyable bloke. Enjoyed his company. He's funny. The engine sounds fantastic, so no complaints there. The paint was a long drawn out story, not knocking the paint and who I was gonna, it's too long a story to go into, but basically the finished result is fantastic, so can't really complain. It was done over lockdown, so there was no real time constraint, and rather than compromise, I just waited till every single part turned up. I'll try and start. This starter is clunky as hell. I don't know why, but I'll just see if it'll go. That's one clonk there. I know they're sort of known for it, but my brother said it's never been as bad as this, so